Hello, everybody, and welcome to my short guide on aura stacking. Alright, so just as a disclaimer, I am no professional aura stacker. This is actually my first league trying out this build, and yeah, there isn't really too much information about aura stacking online, so I kind of had to figure everything out on my own. So hopefully, this guide will help some of you if you want to try out this build. So let's talk about aura stacking, right? So there's various versions of aura stacking. There's a champion with petrified blood, if I'm not wrong. There's gonna be low life version, which I'm playing with chevrons. There's gonna be chaos inoculation, but I'll only be talking about the low life version, which I'm playing now. So the general gist of the build is you stack as many auras as you can, and then you increase the effect of those auras. So you can use a lot of skills, but Spark is usually the main skill, especially with the buffs this patch. They buff the damage and the projectiles. But yeah, it's you can use quite a lot of skills with aura stacking since you just have so much generic damage, right? Okay, so let's talk about the mechanics of the build. So there's going to be two main mechanics. I mean, yeah, two main mechanics, right? So the first one is going to be increased effect of non-curse auras. So this will make your aura stronger. So the more aura effect you have, the more damage and survivability you're gonna get. Your determination is gonna give you more armor. Your purities are gonna give you more resistances, stuff like that. Your hatred, wrath, gonna give you more damage. So you want as much increased effect of auras as you can. So next up is increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. So this makes each aura reserve less mana because you want to stack as many auras as you can. So the more mana reservation you have, the more auras you're going to be able to fit in your build. Okay, my PoB is in the description as always, and yeah, we will take all the increased mana reservation efficiency and increased aura effect that we can on the skill tree. So let's talk more about the skill tree. If you look at my PoB, there's going to be this ring in the circle. So this is actually Transcendent Flesh Tech and Lethal Pride. So what Transcendent Flesh does, it says plus 7 crit strike multi per 10 strength on unallocated passives in radius. So all these tiny nodes that are within the radius of your Transcendent Flesh, they're gonna have plus 4 strength from your Lethal Pride. So this ends up giving us about 195 crit multi, which is really, really good. And you also kind of need the actual strength on the passives here for your build. So yeah, that's a pretty nice free crit multi on the tree. Next, we have Melding of the Flesh. So it says elemental resistances are kept by a highest maximum elemental resistance instead. So what this basically means is if you have 97 max lightning res, you're gonna have what did I say 97? If you have 87 max lightning res, you're gonna have 87 max fire and max cold resistance. So this allows us to only use one purity instead of three to get 90 max resistance, which is really, really nice. So I have one with increased reservation efficiency of skills corrupt. It's not too expensive. Yeah. So Watcher's Eye. The main mod you want to get on Watcher's Eye is the energy shield on hit while affected by discipline. Because Spark sends out so many projectiles, especially in Simulacrum, Delve, stuff like that, you're gonna be regenerating a lot of ES, right? You're gonna be getting a lot of ES on hit. The secondary mod I have here is Vitality Life Regen, but you can take anything that you find on the market. This is not exactly a very expensive one. It's just that I didn't really upgrade my Watcher's Eye since I started this build. But yeah, so stuff like increased damage taken while on consecrated ground while affected by zealotry, things like that. If you're really rich, you can go get hatred, crit strike chance, and things like that. Okay, so let's talk about the ascendancies. So I'm taking Guardian. So as you can see here, Guardian gives you physical damage reduction for each of your auras. This is really, really nice. Combined with Determination, you're gonna get a lot of Fizz reduction. And then also you regenerate 20% of your life over each second. Next we have Assassin. So Assassin gives you base crit strike chance, gives you power charge on critical strike. So we don't actually have any power charge generation except for Assassin, so this is why I chose this Ascendancy. And it also gives you elusive on crit strike chance. So the last Ascendancy that I took using Forbidden Flesh and Flame, if you don't know what Forbidden Flesh and Flame is, it's a new jewel that we got in this patch. It gives you basically a free Ascendancy if you equip both Forbidden Flesh and Flame with an Ascendancy. So I'm taking Necromancer. So I have two of these, one Forbidden Flesh, one Forbidden Flame on my skill tree, and it gives me Necromancer. So Necromancer, the only important stat that we want is this auras from skills grant 2% increased attack speed and cast speed to you and your allies. And if I'm not wrong, this also gets scaled by your increased aura effect. So it just gives a lot of free cast speed and a lot of damage, right? So all Ascendancies are interchangeable. Just get whichever stat is the cheapest. You can take Necromancer and Guardian on the skill tree and get Assassin on your Forbidden Flesh and Flame. Or basically just choose two and then get Forbidden Flesh and Flame for the last one. And then take whatever is cheapest. So the alternative ascendancy you can get is Champion. So it says 100% chance to taunt on hit. Enemies taunted by you take 10% increased damage, and then increased effect of non-curse auras. So this just gives you free 15% increased effect of auras, but I chose not to take this because I prefer Guardian over Champion, right? You will do more damage with Champion, but you'll lose a lot of physical damage reduction. But this is an option if you want to take that. Okay, so let's talk about what auras we use. So we use Wrath, Hatred, Zealotry, Precision, and Haste and Smite. So Wrath gives you more lightning damage, Hatred gives you more cold damage, Zealotry gives you more critical strike chance and spell damage, Precision gives you more critical strike chance, Haste gives you more cast speed, movement speed, so you run faster and attack faster. And then Phantasmal Smite, specifically you need Phantasmal Smite. So it gives you increased attack speed and cast speed, but we only want a cast speed, and then gives you flat lightning damage, which gets scaled by your aura effect as well, because it's an aura. So next we have defensive auras. We have Purity of Lightning. So this is very important. You can use Purity of Lightning, Purity of Fire or Ice or whatever, because uh, of Melding of the Flesh, which I explained just now, right? We only need one of them to get our maximum resistance to 90. So Purity of Elements gives you ailment immunity and more resistance, which I didn't put ailment immunity there, but that's a very, very, very good plus point about Purity of Elements. Then we have Determination, which gives you more armor. We have Vitality, which gives you more energy shield regeneration, because we take Zealot's Oath on the tree, which converts HP regeneration to energy shield regeneration. And then Discipline for more energy shield. So let's talk about cluster jewels. We use 3 passive voices. 1 passive is of course best in slot, but 3 is good enough for my current state of the build. 1 passive is like 90 exalts and 3 passives is like 29. So yes, price wise, 3 passives is a lot better. So cluster jewels, introspection, and increased effect of small passives. So you're going to be able to see 2 different kinds of jewels that people are using. So one of them is introspection, and then the other is going to be added small passives have either 25% or 35% increased effect. So let's talk about introspection first. Introspection gives auras from your skills have 10% increased effect on you. So it basically gives 10% increased aura effect. So you want to stack as many of these as we can. So based on my own current build in my PoB, which you can see, I need 8 introspections and 2 purposeful harbingers to get 90% max res. So getting 90% max res is quite important because each percentage of max resist gives a lot of survivability. So for the added small passives, you want to look for Chaos Resistance and Energy Shield, as you can see here, Chaos Res and Energy Shield. You don't really need resistances because you have Purity of Elements, so yeah. So Purposeful Harbinger is on a medium cluster jewel. So what it gives you is aura buffs from skills have 8% increased effect on you for each herald affecting you up to 40%. So when we are using Herald of Ice and Herald of Thunder, which gives 16% increased effect for each Purposeful Harbinger, and then we take 2 on the tree, which gives you 32% increased effect. So we don't need 3, 2 is enough. Yes, so now let's talk about increased effect of small passives. So I-84 jewels give you 25% increased effect. So each of your small nodes are going to give 7% reservation effectiveness. I-86 is 35% increased effect, which boosts each node to 8%. So the difference between 84 and 86 is like 6 exalts. I-84 is like 50 chaos, I-86 is like 6x for base. So yes, it's just a price thing. So I-86 will let you reserve more auras overall, but it's more for the CI version of the build. In fact, I'm not using any IT6 jewels with this effect. I'm only using 8 introspections on my skill tree, and yeah, I'm just gonna explain this in case you're wondering what this is for. So same thing, Chaos Resistance and Energy Shield for small passives. If you're going for CI, you don't need Chaos Res, and probably Energy Shield or damage is gonna be what you'll be looking for on your small passives. But yes, if you're having troubles reserving your auras, then you can replace introspection with one of these to give more reservation efficiency, which is what I did. Especially if you don't have enough skill points, because I'm level 99, which allows me to use 8 introspections without mana problems. But if let's say you're 87, 97 or 96, you may have to use one of these to reserve all the auras. Okay, let's talk about my gear. So for our weapon, we want to use Nebulous. So increased cold and lightning damage past max resistance, right? Past 75% will give you increased cold and lightning damage. So this is not your uncapped resistance, it's only your maximum. So this just gives a lot of cold damage and lightning damage. For your implicits, you want to look for global crit strike multi, lightning damage, and if I'm not wrong, there's chance to do double damage as well. And then you just want to enchant your weapon with increased elemental damage per 2% quality for just a little bit more damage. So for your shield, you want to use Prism Guardian. It allows us to use life to reserve auras because we are a low life build. So yeah, we basically use our life to reserve our auras that we socket inside our shield. So it enables Pain Attunement because we reserve most of our life. Then you want to look for +2 socketed aura gem corruption to bring our total socketed auras to +4. So we want to socket our most expensive auras, the 50% reservation. So Purity of Elements, Haste, Determination, Hatred. We want to socket inside our Prism Guardian. I'm personally reserving Purity of Elements, Haste, and Determination inside my Prism Guardian. Next, for our helmet, we want to look for 15% increased effect of non-curse auras from our skills. So the base matters. Praetor Crown is the second best, if I'm not wrong. The best base will of course be Hubris Circlet, but I think that's pretty expensive. It's like 20x plus. So this is a cheaper alternative, Praetor Crown. The second base gives us ES and armor, which is not bad. So you want to get an aura reservation and enchant. So it's unlikely, okay, not unlikely, but actually it is. You aren't gonna get a helmet with this enchant on it already. So what you want to do is you go to TFT Discord and then find someone to enchant it for you. Usually reservation enchants cost about 3 exalts. And yeah, you just use Deafening Essence of Loathing, which gives, there we go, 9 to 10 increased mana reservation efficiency of skills. So you just spam essences on this until you get good energy shield rolls. Okay, so Amulet, we are using Ashes of the Stars, and we're allocating Champion of the Cause, which gives reservation efficiency and effect of non-curse auras, which is the two stats that I talked about earlier on. And also this amulet gives 20% increased reservation efficiency of skills, allows us to reserve more auras, and then 30% to quality of all skill gems. So this is why we use the anomalous versions, divergent versions, as stuff like that. It's gonna be my PoB. So it increases the quality bonuses that they give, and just gives us more damage overall. Okay, so next, body armor, we have to use chevrons. This is we are playing the low life version, so we have to use chevrons because of this line that says chaos damage does not bypass energy shield. And yeah, you want to get one with socketed duration gems because spark is a duration gem, so it gives +2 to spark level, so that's more damage. So alternatively, you can use +1 to socketed gems, so it +1 to all your gems inside your chest. But in my PoB, +2 to socketed duration gives more damage, and it's about the same price. For our rings, we want to use 2 Call of the Brotherhoods. You want to catalyze your rings, 20% quality with a elemental damage catalyst. If I'm not wrong, it's called Turbulent Catalyst. So this increases the percentage lightning damage and also increases the conversion of lightning to cold. So converting our lightning damage to cold allows us to basically scale both lightning and cold damage with Wrath and Hatred, and then we get damage bonuses from both of them. Then having cold damage lets us freeze things, lets us chill things, and it just better overall, right? It's just good stuff to have cold damage. And you get to use Herald of Ice, which is nice shatter sounds. So okay. So for corruptions, you can get grants level 21, Wrath or Hatred, or Wrath or Hatred Aura effect. But I'm not using those because I guess I'm satisfied with my build is, but you can get it if you want to. Oh, one thing to note is you want to get one with max rolls for lightning damage, so that in my PoE it does matter a little bit on how much you get on this. So that's a nice one to have. Next up for gloves, we're using Hands of the High Templar with Corruptions for socketed AoE gems, socketed aura gems, which gives us a +4 to socketed aura, same as our shield. So additional mods that you want to get, I have cast speed here, but you can also get flat spell critical strike chance to the base critical strike chance. And the auras that I'm socketing in the gloves are Hatred, Zealotry, Purity of Lightning, and Discipline. So for our belt, I recently got a Mage Blood because I farmed some currency and it is just very, very, very nice. It's kind of busted. So it allows you to use basically 4 magic utility flasks. You can enchant them with the orbs to get increased effect. The prefix should be increased effect, and the secondary can be anything you want. There's quite a few lists out there on Reddit and things like that, where you can just mix and match the combinations that you want for increased crit strike chance, increased cast speed, reduced mana cost, things like that. But it is a very expensive belt. So alternatives to this belt will just be Headhunter, which is like 1/3 the price, or just any good energy shield belt. So boots, you kind of want movement speed boots, of course. You can just get a high energy shield boots with movement speed, tailwind. Personally, I crafted this pair of boots with elevated tailwind, onslaught, and just elusive. Elusive is not too important because we do get it from assassin, but if you are making these kind of boots, you might as well just throw it on as well. For your enchant, you want to get damage penetrates 10% of elemental resistance if you haven't killed recently. So this will basically be up when you're fighting bosses. It's just free 10% penetration. But yeah, you can just use any pair of boots with high ES, tailwind, or whatever combination of mods you want. Okay, I want to talk about Righteous Fire. So Divergent Righteous, I'm actually using Divergent Righteous Fire for more damage. So as you can see, buff grants 40% more spell damage, which is insane. That's a lot of spell damage. And then Divergent Righteous Fire just increases the spell damage that it gives, right? More damage. So the pros about using this is definitely more damage, but you do get less energy shield recovery, which is why I want to take Guardian because it helps with the regeneration, especially if you're using Righteous Fire. So I will only recommend this to use when you have like 90% all res or some basically once you can sustain Righteous Fire comfortably, right? Because in boss fights, if let's say you take a hit, if you do have Righteous Fire on, I can say that you're not gonna be regenerating it that quickly. But with Guardian Ascendancy, you do gain 20% regeneration every like 4 seconds. So it helps with recovering energy shield after big hit, is if you're using Righteous Fire. So I think that's all I have to say. I hope that this guide helps you all out a little bit. If I did miss out anything or you want to ask any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'll be streaming. I think I'll be streaming at night usually, Singaporean time. And yeah, you can just come in and ask any questions if you want. Other than that, I think that's all. Thank you for watching and goodbye.